You've already seen Arab billionaires buying up soccer clubs, gold Bugattis, and palaces across 3 countries. But do you know who really controls the billions in the Arab world? Meet the 10 richest Arab women quietly controlling empires, from oil and fashion to education and politics. And number 1 on this list is a legend, a woman who fought through fire and fury to build her empire. These aren't just queens, they are the rulers of a new era. Sheikha Moza bint Nasser, $15 billion. She's not just the mother of Qatar's current emir. She's the architect of the nation's soft power, steering the country toward building universities instead of pipelines. Born on August 8, 1959, in Al-Qawra, Moza became the wife of Emir Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, and later, the mother of his successor. But being a royal wife didn't stop her from becoming a global powerhouse. In 1995, she established the Qatar Foundation, a research and education center that receives hundreds of millions of dollars annually. In 2012, she launched Education Above All, an initiative with a mission to educate millions of children in developing countries. But Moza isn't just books and schools. She's Valentino. She's Harrods. It's a $300 million splash on 3 London mansions and a luxury hotel in Beirut, built atop the legendary Tanos Hotel ruins. She personally pushed for the $1.5 billion acquisition of Valentino and Britain's Harrods, boosting Qatar's grip on high fashion and elite real estate. And her style? No stylists. Every dress is a message. The French press calls her the Arab muse of couture, and Vogue and Harper's Bazaar put her on lists of the most influential women on the planet. Sheikha Moza is more than billions. She's the face of Qatar, its voice on the world stage, and living proof that a woman can rule without a throne, through education, elegance, and vision. Shamara bint Mohammed, 200 to 300 million. Shamara bint Mohammed Al Maktoum is one of the most talked about women in the new Arab elite. The daughter of Sheikh Mohammed, Dubai's ruler, and Greek artist Zoe Grigorakis, she blends imperial blood with a spirit of creative freedom. After earning a BA in International Relations in the UK and studying at the Mohammed bin Rashid School of Government, Shamara chose a path beyond the palace walls. No ministries, no family business. Just a world where women build their own brands and speak without filters. What she does: founder of perfume brand Mara M1, which has already sold more than $12 million in the first quarter of 2025, according to Arab beauty retailers. The first fragrance is called Divorce, inspired by her own public divorce. It's more than a scent. It's a cultural manifesto. Owner of a creative studio in Dubai that designs perfume packaging, concepts for Arab designers, and digital fashion campaigns. She's an investor in local startups, backing women-led projects on the Dubai Next platform, and pushing for Gulf women's economic independence. As a philanthropist, she runs a scholarship fund for girls from low-income Emirates communities, helping them study abroad and dream bigger. Influence: over 1.2 million followers on Instagram, where she combines luxury fashion shoots, autos, and insightful lyrics about freedom and choice. Appears on the covers of Harper's Bazaar Arabia and Emirates Woman as the new icon of independence. She's a regular speaker at Arab Women in Business panels, talking branding, identity, and turning crisis into reinvention. Lifestyle: horse racing, Arab couture from local designers, bold feminist captions, and a fire Vogue Arabia interview where she said, "I don't need permission to be myself." Princess Amira Al Tawil is a $200 million woman. Born in 1983 in Riyadh, Amira bint Aden Al Tawil came from a modest middle-class family. At 18, while writing for her school newspaper, she landed an interview with one of Saudi Arabia's most powerful men, billionaire Prince Al-Walid bin Talal. It was a fateful meeting. A few months later, they became a couple, and in 2008, married. The girl without a title suddenly found herself at the heart of the Middle Eastern elite, beside a billionaire with global influence in politics, business, and media. As his wife, she stepped into key roles in Al-Walid's philanthropic empire, serving as vice president and secretary general of a foundation managing hundreds of millions in humanitarian efforts. She oversaw flood relief in Pakistan, funded the preservation of Afghanistan's historic architecture, and helped launch the Center for Islamic Studies at Cambridge. Represented Saudi Arabia in global forums from the UN to the European Parliament. But in 2013, their alliance dissolved. Amira could have disappeared, as is often the case with former royal wives, but instead, she began building her own empire. She launched Time Entertainment, becoming one of the first women in Saudi Arabia to take the CEO seat in the entertainment industry. The company produces hit TV shows, backs music and cultural projects, and created a groundbreaking docuseries on Gulf women, now streaming on Netflix MENA. She campaigned for women's rights to enter fields long off limits: TV, journalism, and the creative industries. In 2018, she married Emirati billionaire Khalifa bin Buti Al Mahari. Their wedding was held in Paris, and a year later, they welcomed their son, Zaid. Today, Amira is not a title, it's a brand, a woman who has gone from a high school notebook to meetings with Netflix and miniseries. A title gives respect, but business gives freedom, she said in an interview with Forbes Middle East. Queen Rania, $750 million, along with the king. Rania Al Yassin was born on August 31, 1970 in Kuwait to a Palestinian family. Her journey to the Kingdom of Jordan began not from the throne, but from the office. She earned a business degree from the American University in Cairo, then worked at Citibank and Apple's marketing department. In 1993, she met then Crown Prince Abdullah bin al-Hussein and married him just 6 months later. And in 1999, when Abdullah became king, Rania became one of the most prominent and influential queens in the Arab world. What Queen Rania did: she founded the Queen Rania Foundation for Education and Development, which has given thousands of Jordanian children access to education. She secured global backing, including $3 million from the Jack Ma Foundation, pushing the foundation's total budget past $130 million by 2023. Promotes projects on women's rights, digital education, and support for teachers. Rania is not just the face of the kingdom. She is a strategic figure in international politics, known for her speeches at UN forums, at Davos, and at TED. Her Instagram isn't about dresses, it's about change, wealth, and influence. Together with the king, her net worth is estimated at $750 million. According to the Pandora Papers, King Abdullah owns at least 14 luxury properties in the UK and the US, totaling more than $100 million. The list includes homes in London, villas in Malibu, and Washington, D.C., many held through offshore entities. Their permanent residence is the historic Ragadan Palace in Amman, a symbol of the Jordanian monarchy since 1926, a symbol of style and technology. The Royal Automobile Museum's collection includes a Ferrari F40 $2 million and a Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren Sterling. Moss $2.2 million 2024. Rania attracted attention by appearing in a BYD Yangwang U8 electric SUV, combining a sustainable future with royal status. Flights are private only. A royal jet takes her from Geneva to New York, where she speaks at humanitarian summits. True elegance is to be heard, not just seen, she once told CNN. Queen Rania embodies tradition and progress, Islamic values and Western thought, a woman who makes politics beautiful and dangerously effective. Sheikha Latifa bint Mohammed Al Maktoum, fortune undisclosed. Born on December 5, 1985 in Dubai, Sheikha Latifa comes from one of the most powerful families in the region. Her father? Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, ruler of Dubai and the UAE's prime minister, with a fortune estimated at $18 billion. Her mother, Huria Ahmed Al-Mash, was born in Algeria, adding a multicultural dimension to Latifa's royal lineage. It would seem that Latifa had it all: power, wealth, status. But inside, it was a different world. From a young age, she trained in sports and jiu-jitsu, competed in tournaments, and nurtured a passion for horses and art. But behind the luxury and photo shoots, there was an inner struggle. The desire to be free in a world where women are not allowed to choose their own way. The escape that the whole world heard. On February 24, 2018, Latifa tried to escape from the UAE. She boarded the American-flagged yacht Nostromo and headed toward India, hoping to reach a safe country where she could start a new life. But on March 4th, special forces intercepted the ship off the coast of Goa, and Latifa was forcibly returned to Dubai. For 2 years, almost nothing was heard of her, video messages that shocked the world. In 2021, the BBC released secret videos recorded by Latifa in custody. She said she lived in isolation, under 24-hour surveillance, and had no contact with the outside world. The footage sparked global outrage. The UN, Amnesty, Human Rights Watch, all demanded proof that she was alive and safe. In June of the same year, a statement was released on her behalf claiming that she was free and wants to live in silence. And in 2022, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights met with Latifa in Paris, confirming that she was alive, well, and does not wish publicity. Why her story matters. Latifa became a symbol, proof that even behind gilded palace walls, pain and protest can exist. She didn't give press conferences, she didn't become a revolutionary, but her silence and attempted flight generated far more discussion than dozens of statements by politicians. "I just want freedom, a basic human right," she said in one video. Today, she is rarely seen in public. She avoids the media and political statements. But Latifa's name is forever inscribed on the list of women who broke the silence of the golden cage. Sheikha Hind bint Faisal al-Qasimi, $1.8 billion. Born in 1984 in Sharjah, Sheikha Hind comes from the al-Qasimi royal family, one of the oldest dynasties in the UAE, ruling over a region rich in culture and history. But instead of politics or oil, she chose a different path: media, literature, business, and even flavor as a form of influence. Education is her foundation. An architecture degree from the American University of Sharjah, and business programs at the Sorbonne, Harvard, Cairo, and London. And now, she is pursuing a PhD because she believes that power without knowledge is temporary. What she does: editor-in-chief of Velvet magazine, one of the main media on contemporary Arab culture, fashion, and style. Author of The Black Book of Arabia, a collection of real-life stories of women in the Persian Gulf that became a bestseller and provoked strong reactions in society. Founder of Behind, a niche perfume line with a deeply philosophical message. Each fragrance is a chapter, dedicated to female freedom, inner strength, and ancestral memory. A woman can walk into a room and say nothing, if her scent says it all, she says of her perfume philosophy. Beyond beauty, as a representative of the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, she leads initiatives supporting young entrepreneurs, especially women. A voice for tolerance in the digital age, she champions interfaith dialogue and cultural unity. She speaks at the UN, TEDx, the Arab League, as a voice of a new aristocracy, tolerant, educated, and effortlessly stylish. Her credo: "I'm not building an empire, I create an atmosphere." Sheikha Hind wields a different kind of power. No armies, no billion-dollar trades. She owns attention, elegance, voice, and scent. And in today's world, that's what shapes a generation. Sheikha Moza bint Marwan al Maktoum, the princess of the sky. While most princesses grew up with silk, tiaras, and grand receptions, Moza chose turbine roar, the scent of jet fuel, and the endless sky. The granddaughter of Dubai's ruler Al Maktoum. And from an early age, she knew she didn't want the throne. Her dream was the cockpit. Her first flight? Age 12. At 17, she made the Guinness Book of Records, not for a title, but for standing on the wing of an aircraft mid-flight. And no, it wasn't a stunt. It was a statement against fear, against tradition, against limits. At 19, she took the controls of a Boeing 777 for Emirates Airlines. Hundreds of passengers never knew. Their plane was being flown by a woman, and not just any woman, a princess. But she didn't stop there. In 2019, she joined the Dubai Police Aviation Unit, the first woman in uniform, with epaulets in command. In 2022, she piloted the AW609 tilt rotor, a hybrid aircraft so advanced even armies hesitate. She didn't. Moza doesn't just fly, she charts new trajectories. She launched Shihana, so that thousands of Arab girls can sit in the cockpit and say, "I can." She even wrote a children's book, When She Took to the Sky. The heroine? Not a sleeping beauty. A girl with a dream of wings. She never shouted about freedom, she simply took off, to a place where the air is clearer and the borders fade away. "I'm not one to wait for permission," she says. "If the sky is mine, I fly there." Sheikha Moza is the wind of change, a princess who wears pilot headsets instead of a crown and chases horizons, not diamonds. Sheikha Ma bint Mohammed Al Maktoum, with $18 billion behind her. But the real power? It's in her fists. Born in Dubai on March 5, 1980, daughter of the UAE's ruler and prime minister. From birth, she could choose any path: diplomacy, fashion, business. But Ma chose combat, not boardrooms, but tatamis, rings, and horseback fields with a polo helmet on. She is a challenge to every stereotype about Arab women. At 20, she walked into a martial arts gym for the first time, not for photos, for real sparring. 2006, silver medal at the Asian Karate Games. 2008, a historic moment. The first woman to represent the UAE at the Beijing Olympics in Taekwondo. And it wasn't just sport. It was a political slap to every voice that ever said, "A woman shouldn't." But it didn't end with martial arts. After an injury, she left the ring and climbed into the saddle. Ma founded Team Z7, the UAE's first women's polo team. They took gold at the Ralph Lauren International Tournament. She wasn't chasing magazine covers. She was fighting. She was winning. She was inspiring. Beyond sports, in 2007, she served as her father's special envoy to Sudan, promoting education projects for children. She's also active in Dubai Cares, raising funds for schools in some of the poorest regions of Africa and Asia. Back on form in 2018, she took silver at the Abu Dhabi Jiu-Jitsu Championships. And all this without theatrics. No press releases, just action. Strength isn't just muscles. It's standing up when everyone around you wants you to stay down. She used to say, "Ma is the Arab woman 2.0, sword, crown, gloves, and voice." She doesn't reject luxury, but she never hides behind it. Her image, in a kimono or in the saddle, is a new form of power, where protection isn't security guards, but reflexes, where respect isn't bought, it's earned. Sheikha Ma bint Mohammed Al Maktoum, $18 billion behind her name, and unstoppable energy in every move. Born March 5, 1980 in Dubai, to the Al Maktoum dynasty, rulers with tens of billions in global assets. But despite the legacy, she chose a path many men avoid: karate, Olympic tatamis, polo fields, and frontline diplomacy. She had no interest in being the quiet sheikha in a designer abaya. She wanted the heat, the challenge, the truth. A born fighter, silver medalist at the 2006 Asian Karate Games. In 2008, she made history, the first woman to represent the UAE at the Olympics in Taekwondo, not as a flag, but as a force. An injury nearly ended her athletic career. Instead, she changed arenas. In the saddle like its armor, Sheikha Ma founded Team Z7, a women's polo squad made of aristocrats and ex-athletes. They went on to win international tournaments, including the prestigious Ralph Lauren International, where style meets power. In polo, it's not just technique, it's charisma. People don't watch her because of the title. They watch for her style, aggressive, precise, fearless. In 2007, she traveled to Sudan as a special envoy on behalf of her father. She took part in the Dubai Cares initiative, fighting for children's right to education in conflict zones. A fierce supporter of women's sports, she opens academies for girls who dream not of runways but of tatamis, goals and records. No one believed I could do it. Now they're all asking how I did. She said in 2018, after returning to sport and taking silver at the Abu Dhabi Jiu-Jitsu Championships. Ma lives the aesthetic of sport. One moment, she's on the cover of Vogue Arabia in a bronze kimono. The next, she's leading polo drills in boots and her Team Z7 uniform. She combines femininity and fighting spirit without compromising either. Sheikha Ma isn't just a woman with a billion-dollar name. She's a brand, a bicep, a symbol of power for a new generation of Arab women, fearless, unfiltered, and unstoppable. Sheikha Lubna bint Khalid Al-Qasimi, $5 billion. She earned a degree in computer science in California and started her career not in a palace, but in an IT firm. In 1981, she began as a programmer at Datamation, a rarity for any woman at the time, let alone a princess. Later, she became Director of Information Systems at Dubai Ports, implementing digital systems before it was even a trend. She then became CEO of Tajari, the Middle East's first B2B e-commerce platform. In the 90s, it was like launching an Arab Amazon. In 2004, she made history, the first female minister in the UAE serving as Minister of Economy and Planning. Later came roles as Minister of Foreign Trade, Minister of International Cooperation, and finally, Minister of Tolerance. She became the face of a new kind of governance, smart, modern, and tech-driven. From 2014 to 2018, she served as president of Zayed University, boosting female participation in science and tech. She's an active force behind Dubai Cares, helping raise over $431 million to educate children in the world's poorest nations. She also supports the Kalimat campaign, distributing books and materials for blind and visually impaired children across the Middle East. In 2013, she was named Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire (DBE) by Queen Elizabeth II, honoring her work in diplomacy and women's leadership. Named one of the world's 100 most influential women by Forbes and Arabian Business. If you want to change the system, first learn how to run it, she once said. She never clamored for attention. She built the future, not through shows or social media, but through education, digitalization, and reform. Sheikha Lubna, the Arab technocrat in an abaya, proved that power can be feminine, precise, calculating, and wildly effective. And here she stands, at the top. The woman who gave the Arab digital age a female face. From gold and perfume to runways, space labs, and the Olympic tatami, these women proved that power in the Arab world can sound different, quiet, stylish, unshakable, sometimes with a polo mallet, sometimes with a line of code. They're not just wives, mothers, or heiresses. They're creators, founders, pioneers. They don't wait for a place at the table. They build their own. And if you thought wealth and power in the Arab world were reserved for men, now you know better. Now tell me, which of these women inspired you the most? The militant Olympian, the tech queen, or the princess whose weapons are scent and voice? Drop it in the comments. Hit like if these stories changed your view of what a woman can be. And of course, subscribe if you want more stories about those who rule the world without ever raising their voice. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next story.